Hello and welcome to News Review from BBC Learning English. I'm Neil. Joining me today is Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hi Neil, and hello to our audience. Today's story is about the new COVID-19 strain which is rapidly spreading in the UK. And this has led to new travel restrictions both inside and outside the country.
Don't forget that if you want to test yourself on the vocabulary you learned today, there's a quiz on our website at bbclearningenglish.com. OK, let's hear some more about that story from this BBC Radio 4 news report.
Ministers will hold crisis talks this morning after many European countries halted passenger and freight transport with the UK because of a new coronavirus variant. In business, some people who can't fly because of the new restrictions have been offered the chance to book an alternative flight rather than a refund.
So the story is about a new strain of COVID-19 which is rapidly spreading in the UK. This is important because it basically means that Christmas is cancelled for millions of families in London and the southeast of the country. This is because of travel restrictions put in place by the government. Now, other European countries such as France are also imposing travel restrictions on all travel to and from the UK.
OK, well, you've been looking at the headlines connected to this story. You've picked out 3 words and expressions which are really useful. What are they?
Really useful indeed. They are mutant, amid, and to follow suit.
Mutant, amid, and to follow suit. So let's start with your first headline and that word mutant, please.
First headline, Neil, is from Metro. It says, London's mutant COVID has already spread to other parts of the UK.
Mutant, different from others of its kind due to a genetic change. Now, this word is possibly easier to understand if we start with its verb form, to mutate.
Yeah, so mutant is an adjective. The verb form is to mutate. And when you mutate, you change genetically. So your genes or your DNA changes.
Now, we see this word mutant used a lot in sort of comic books and sci-fi and fiction, don't we?
Used so much in comics and sci-fi and fiction. You know I'm a big comic book fan, Neil. Mutant, the word mutant is actually 6 times more popular now than it was in 1980s. It's 6 times more common, which probably is a result of all the famous mutants that you see in the comics. Would you like me to tell you some?
Yes, please.
So, some of my favourite mutants from comics and fiction films. Godzilla is a mutant. Deadpool, mutant. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are also mutants. And probably the most famous are the X-Men. The X-Men are mutants as well.
Okay, well, it's interesting that we're talking about fiction and comic books because this word contains an element of drama in it, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. If you look at the headline, they say mutant COVID. They don't say new strain of COVID because mutant sounds a lot more exciting and dramatic and will sort of grab the reader's attention. You know, mutant, you get this idea of like a Godzilla kind of virus. It's very strong and dramatic, as you said.
Yeah. Despite the fact that what they're saying at the moment is that it's no more dangerous than the previous strain, but still, as you say, mutant gives it makes it more appealing to read.
It does. It makes you want to read that headline, and that's probably why they've used it.
Okay, let's have a summary. We have been talking about comic books, and if you want to watch another news review on the same topic, we have the perfect one for you, haven't we, Tom?
We do. It's about the death of Marvel Comics legend Stan Lee 2 years ago, and you can find it by clicking the link.
Okay, let's have your next headline.
My second headline, Neil, is from the Evening Standard. The headline, Ireland joins Italy, Germany and the Netherlands in cancelling UK flights amid rising concern over mutant COVID-19 strain. And there's that word mutant again.
Yes, mutant that we looked at in the last headline. But the word we're looking at here is amid. Amid, which means in the middle of or surrounded by.
It does, yeah. And yeah, for once on News Review, we are looking at a preposition. The reason I chose this word, the thing that for me I think is most interesting, is the register, which is how formal it is.
Yeah, because as I said in the definition there, in the middle of or surrounded by, why don't we just say that? Why do we need this word amid? Because it's really formal, isn't it?
It is very formal, so I think there's two reasons. If you look at the headline, it looks like it's quite a serious subject. They're actually going to go into detail about the flights and so forth. Also, in the middle of, how many words is that? That's going to take up a lot of space in the headline. So amid is perfect here.
Yeah. And there's actually a clue in the word itself. You can see if you take off the A, you have that word mid, which is the same meaning as middle.
Or midst, in the midst of, but we will come to that in a moment. So amid, it can be physical. It can be physical or it can be sort of figurative. Physically, in the middle of, I could say, I am filming amid all of the chaos in my living room. You can see that there's wires and cameras everywhere. Chaos is a good collocation with amid.
Yeah. Or you might want to say that we had the BBC Learning English Christmas party on Friday. It was a virtual party, of course.
It was. It was good time.
Amid the party, Rob told a really rude joke.
I mean, you could say that, but that's quite an informal context to use it. I could say, during the merriment of the Christmas party, my colleague Rob told a joke. But why would we speak like that on a day-to-day level? It's too formal. So we normally use it for more serious things. So it can be figurative as well, this preposition amid. If you look at what the headline's talking about, it's talking about an announcement to stop flights, which was made amid an alarming rise in cases. So an alarming rise in COVID cases, very serious. Rob's joke at the Christmas party, not that serious.
Not that serious. Okay, let's get a summary. We mentioned that the last word, amid, is a preposition, and we have more on prepositions, but it's not serious, is it, Tom?
No, we have you can see prepositions in probably the least serious context, a very silly one on the Grammar Game Show by clicking the link.
Very entertaining though, so do check that out. Okay, we have another word for you, another headline.
Okay, my next headline is from The Independent, and the vocabulary is actually in the subheading. It says, 5 EU countries halt incoming journeys from the UK as others looks poised to follow suit.
To follow suit, meaning to do the same thing.
To follow suit means to do the same thing. Before we continue, Neil, I will point out that there is a typo in this headline. The subject is 5 EU countries. It should be look poised, not looks poised.
That's right, so the headline has got a mistake in it. But it's still useful for us.
It happens to the best of us.
Okay, so how about this word suit? I thought a suit was something you wore, that matching jacket and trousers and tie for a formal occasion.
It is. This is another definition of suit, is a formal attire that you wear, jacket, tie. We can also have suits in cards. In card games, there are 52 cards, I think, and there are 4 suits that are the same colour. And it's this idea of being the same. If you look at businessmen wearing suits are very much the same, right? It's kind of like a uniform.
That's right.
You could have a blue suit, you could have a blue suit, or you could have a black suit, but basically they're the same. And it's this idea of being similar or being the same thing.
Now, no doubt your plans for Christmas have changed, Tom.
Yes. I have. Well, I will tell you about my Christmas plans, Neil. and then perhaps maybe you can follow suit. Maybe you could do the same thing.
Okay.
So, my original plan was to go to the countryside, get some fresh air, see my family. But now those plans have been cancelled. So I will be spending my Christmas right here in my living room where you can see me.
Maybe not with the camera on, though.
I could live stream my Christmas dinner, but probably not. How about you?
Okay, so I'll follow suit
Please
now.
follow
I'll follow
suit.
suit now, and I'll tell everyone that I'm doing exactly the same as you. I won't be travelling anywhere to see anybody. I'll be here because we can't leave, and millions of others in the southeast of England will follow suit.
Exactly.
Okay, let's have a summary. Time now, Tom, for a recap of the vocabulary, please.
A recap of today's vocabulary. We have mutant, different from others of its kind due to a genetic change. Amid, in the middle of or surrounded by. And to follow suit means to do the same thing.
If you want to test yourself on this vocabulary, please go to our website, bbclearningenglish.com. There's a quiz there that you can take. And don't forget, we are also all over social media. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Take care, and goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Happy Christmas.